Once again, welcome everybody to KritzKast, sponsored by Mango.store. This is the semi-final match between Poland and Finland on who gets the chance to play in the finals, as the game is about to be started with Poland defending the first point first and Finland attacking it. Jessica putting the sentry in a little bit of a defensive spot. Not much of a difference here, probably defending against the infamous Ballsack. Like inevitably coming out of Skyper here, Domaytoe. So as the gates are down, please do let me know, what do you see and what do you think is gonna happen?
For the next 3 seconds, nothing. Right now there was a little switch up, I do think, on the Mediguns, but both are on Uber right now. We have to see how the suicide wave does rain out. McNanno's creeping in from top right, lurking. Gas gets spotted though by the Rockets. There comes your favorite sex strategy though.
Whoop! Oop, Skipper is getting blown away. He just falls back. Uber has been popped, however. Grandma, what is going on? Skipper has been finished off. A lot of people dead. That's 4 up for the blue team, but the Uber has been forced out of Grandma. And they've lost Jessica as well. I'm not sure if they can hold this first point for much longer here, Domaytoe.
He was down to half HP, fair point to him popping maybe a bit more brave. We have to see how that drains out over the next course of the map. The Finnish team definitely on to very aggressive play stance right now, pushing in top left. They still stay in here, the defense, they just have to watch out that they don't get completely wrapped.
Ooh, nice headshot by Stingen onto Rypay. Now Sting is still alive. Uber coming out of blue team, but it's getting well defended. Trooper is sniking behind. Oh, he gets a kill. He goes for Dragons. He gets it as well. And he's looking for one more, but no! What was that face step, Trooper?
Well, Saharan Spy, you don't see it coming unless it's in your face. They're actually going to hold on to that because they do get the frags from Thezu and from Trooper coming in. Just instant 2 stabs, like, you know, instant kill mechanics essentially onto the class that, well, kills you instantly obviously, and then a scout class, when Thezu plays that class, you're instantly dead as well, so either way, you're dead. And they're instantly going to repush, so they have a Uber advantage.
Oh yeah, now Uber is gonna come in crucial now. Trooper is still lurking behind, is a very good spot and has not been checked by the blue team. Seems that Finland is slowly pushing it, but Uber's coming out of the red team. They want to push these players out, and they are doing just that. They did clear out Rypay and Skyper. Yuno also gone down in the first beginning of it. Not house to follow, and they are holding strong right now, Poland. The sentry has been rebuilt by Jessica, so he's filling in those Texan shoes quite well so far.
Stan was a bit too far forward, I guess, so he took a lot of damage and they used, so they are now at the disadvantage on the defensive play stance, but actually equaled out because Oli got spammed there by Kyuku or Kwiku. I can never, Jake, you can tell me after that.
It's just Kafka.
Kafka. They're pushing in right now though with the Uber, and they have to get out here probably.
Yeah, Turcho is trying to slow it down, but I'm not sure if he can do this. But the Uber has been used. The sentry has not gone down, however, and Graba is still alive, about to get his 3rd Uber of the game. A lot of people dead. Gauss is actually getting killed as well. That's only 3 up for the blue team. They are unable to penetrate this defense set up by Poland. This dispenser has gone down, but that's about it. And it seems that Jessica has lost the sentry as well. That's a bit unfortunate, but Graba will have one more Uber to use and maybe do something. McNanno there, finding kill onto Stingen. Nice kill, but you might have been looking for Graba, who's now sitting in a nice cozy 100.
The only person who got something done there was Skyper, who got the engineer frag, so they actually don't still have this actual setup. So they do get forced right now just by Soldier jumping in because they don't have the denial of the sentry anymore.
Ooh, Gauss is solo on health. He almost got caught by Stan out there, but he has to go back. And it seems that a blue team trying to finish off those Polish players out of the point. They managed to save their medic with 50%, but they've lost most of their players. Seems that Poland will have the time to fall back to the second point and maybe sub another defense.
They have a forward hold right now because they still do have a Uber, well, disadvantage. That is kind of an issue, but when they get frags forward, can actually help them because the card is not that far up. And you need picks when you have an Uber disadvantage. You can kite this still in this forward hold, and the forward hold is definitely what you want to get down because this is where you get the most time on the second point, because otherwise you're just getting brute forced out of low positions that are just too passive to work.
No, precisely. Your Skyper moving in with Gauss from below. They have that 25% advantage, but the card is nowhere near. McNanno is gonna decloak behind Stingen, not before he takes down his counterport. And they're moving slowly through. The Tollers right there. Barthis is just holding down the core almost by himself. The rest of the red players have found them. They found Sniper as well. Gauss needs to get the hell out of this situation if he wants to survive. The both medics are currently on 100%. And, well, Graban is a good spot as well. Very well protected. Yuno from the back trying to pester that medic. But Turchu is there and he's keeping his guard up. Seems that we've got a pause that is coming in 90 seconds in the future as we're commentating from the past Domaytoe. I'm not sure what's going on, but maybe a technical one, or maybe just talking about strategies.
Finally, pause in Highlander. I was already getting like too hyped up on the action, you know. Jake, we have casting for that long. I need to catch my voice again, man. I hope they do these little pauses. Just never mind, just joke. We have to see though. I like this pause because we can actually analyze a bit here, because there was an interesting play stance that just went down. They did have Uber advantage, what we said, like 40% on the Uber advantage for the offensive team, but they lost like Ollie. Okay, that's not the worst like pick to lose there, because sniper is usually important before the Uber and such, but if they have an Uber advantage they can just push into them. But what they decided to do is put all of their players onto cart and then push the tunnel, which not only meant that Grabber could build his Uber up for that, after that time, but it also means if you have an Uber and you obviously have the advantage, you can flash a lot more players than usually in Uber exchange, and the only real area where that advantage shines is if you take the hill, because if you're just in the tunnel, you're all cramped up, you can't even spread out your resources. So I don't necessarily agree with this play. They did get the card up quite far bit actually, to be fair.
Yeah, now Jessica will have to build up the sentry. I just wanted to point out, using this break that Wiethoofd is just flying around the map, is that all of the Polish players are just wearing their national, colors right now. If you just check them out, but it's basically a tracksuit going on, which I'm actually quite surprised about, but hey, it works. I mean, team building exercise, buying matching hats is something we haven't seen in a long, long while, and it looks really stellar. But going back into the game, and what can Finnish team do? I mean, they've wasted 3 minutes and 15 seconds on the first point. Second point is pretty much untouched so far. The car is already far forward, as you've said yourself, and Jessica hasn't built his sentry just yet. But both medics have the Uber charge, and Finnish team is actually quite far back, and they're waiting for those responses. They really need a Nut House up in there. They really need Raipe up in there as well, and Juno is about to go down and burn thanks to Turcho. So it is a kind of a toss-up, but so far is a very, very strong disposition by the Polish team, and it seems that they've really done their homework, and they're trying to counter whatever is going on for Finland right now.
It's a lot of time for just holding the first point, and it was also important that they didn't even get that cheesily. They stayed very well organized, and they were just completely trusting in each other, which is obviously very important in Team Fortress 2, you know, you can kind of guess from the name. We're already going live actually, Juno does die, so the flank down there for the offensive team just denies any actual forward pressure. Mignano there whiffing some steps, just people coming in, nothing happening though. Stan gets his head taken.
Oof. That's a good pick here for Finland. It's gonna slow down that defense quite a bit. It's only level 1 sentry by Jessica. Blood is going behind. What is he doing right now? He's gonna shoot down Stinging like it's nothing. But the blue team is slowly getting ready to push in. 3 down for the side of red. They're losing these super charges. No sentry up just yet. They lose Jessica and Turchopole, and they're destroying all this defense setup. But Grabba and Barthis are behind. They've not been spotted. Stan is low on health. He's trying to fight out Skyper, but he's gonna survive this exchange. Uber's coming out in the back by Grabba, trying to clear out the car just to kind of get back to the third point. So the second point has been capped quite quickly here, Domaytoe. But they will maybe be able to stop and secure the third, which is the most important one.
Yeah, they still have their players out. Kafka, I have to get used to that. Kafka gets killed there though, almost got the pick onto Raipe. Maybe throwing his life a bit too much away there, because spam classes are very important to just defend a third point. They still do have a very good time actually, like defensive-wise, on the clock. For the Polish team, but once it gets cracked down here, it can actually work in their deficit. Right now there's just a lot of downtime actually, and just having to watch them build their Ubers, which are completely equal on the percentage.
Well, if their Ubers are equal, the defensive team usually has the advantage here. They also have a level 2 sentry set up by the engineer, but the card is moving quite quickly here, pushed by Nut House. Finland is not wasting any time. Gauss and Skyper are getting quite aggressive up in there. They have Uber already. Here comes Juno as well, taking out Stam to half health. Uber has been not used by Grabba just yet. I'm not sure where the medic is. They're just kind of holding up there.
Respawn.
But no, wait, what happened with Grabba?
It was I didn't 100%, but I didn't 100% see, but he wasn't 100% either, you know, because like 95 or something got stamped there. Really clutch step coming in from him actually, and pinpoint push from the offensive team really worked out strong in their advantage, because they just took the ground bravely once again, and Stan was kind of blindsiding himself. Grabba is still weak somewhere.
Yeah, Grabba is low on health and up in the window. Stan is trying to save the situation. They take down Garpe, and they do take down Gauze, and they're chasing more. Rencho is on a mission right now. He's chasing down all the blue players. Are only 3 up for the side of blue after losing 2 points in like about 2 minutes. They managed to kind of secure this and maybe stabilize themselves. Grabba now is getting those reinforcements back from spawn. Barth is making his way up as well, and Trooper is looking for the pick. He needs that kill now to secure it even more. He sees Gauze, and he's waiting for a good opportunity. He's still using the Saharan Spy. He's decloaking. He's looking for. He's gonna get Oli. That's a good consolation prize, but it's not. Gauze, they're going below. Turchos finds Gauze there in the bed below, but no, he grabs himself a big health back. He's back to full HP, but Grabba has the advantage in Ubers.
And Stingen does defend himself from the threat that was Mignano, so he still has that very strong defensive position onto the balcony there behind the crates. The Finnish team actually claims the ground right now. Ripe does get the force. Maybe he can get just completely melee down there. Stingen on a 7k right now. He might actually help them to stabilize onto top again, and it's actually what is happening. Ghost still does have a full 100% advantage. They don't really have the numbers for it, unfortunately, though, to push this in instantly, and they're getting denied. So when the defense actually recuperates a bit on this point, they can kite this Uber, and Oli also dies on the card trying to get forward pressure. I don't know if they need to do that, like they have this Uber advantage, they're just bleeding players.
Oh, Gauze, the Skyper low on health. Bazu finds Ripe there. He gets a few meat shots in, but the Heavy has a lot of health. Can't do this. Gauze uses the Uber charge as well. He's been kind of forced out there. Grabba doesn't have his Uber charge either. And Barth is below, making sure nobody sneaks through. Nicely done, and actually Stan throws in the random pipe and gets Gauze square in the forehead, which means that Polish team will have a nice 100% advantage coming into this next point defense. 6 minutes and 9 seconds, capped 3 points. Most of it has been done on the first one, so kind of unfortunate, but they're still holding strong.
Well, that Uber was kind of dreadful, or whack, as the cool kids say. Bartis actually dies on the back stairs though. Well, they just bled a lot of players and then they were completely forced onto tracks. Right now they are actually going to brute force their way onto the top again. The offensive team does give them an Uber advantage of like 20 to 30%, as they're still trying to pressure low ground here.
Ooh, Turcho almost getting Gauze there. Gauze is only on 35 HP. He goes down. Turcho is following up. He doesn't care about losing health. All he cares about is taking this medic down. He does it well. He survives the exchange as well, and the tracksuit is definitely giving him speed running away from this.
Well, just firing forward very consciously, just eking a bit of ground forward out, which was smart, because they also had a lot of other players just going with them, and they had a lot of players on the blue stance down. I mean, they got the spawns, but those spawns still need like 3 seconds to get into position, which actually did matter there. Ghost maybe should have, well, went out a bit more, but if you see like your engine being set up, you maybe sometimes have a false sense of security and actual trust, and you do think that you're more safer than you actually are. Stan does die though, that is a great weakening to the defensive stance. Oli dies though on the offense, so that is kind of almost equaling this out, but Stan needs to get into position after he respawns in 2 seconds.
Oh, Grabba is not building Uber as fast as Gauze here, Domaytoe, which means Gauze will have a nice advantage coming into this. They're getting quite aggressive up this stairs as well. Dragon's trying to push all the players out, but they find Stas. Stas giving himself a health back. He's gonna go down! Ripe is still falling through, but Turcho's gonna finish off the job there with Stingen. It seems that Gauze has that Uber charge, but he has to fall back. He's lost Dragons and he's lost Ripe. Skyper now just joined him. They're trying to force their way in. Grabba has only 95%. He may just die. They need to run away from this. Here comes Soldier. Sees that Kafka will be able to get the force out of this sentry, or the card is dangerously closed. Sentry's blocking it from getting capped. Grabba's popping his Uber charge just in time, and he may be able to find Gauze there. Gauze is going down. Skyper for sure as well. And that's a 7th kill for Turcho without dying.
That was insane, because I did not agree with this play whatsoever onto Turcho. Stay high ground, but this Uber was so long from Grabba. I don't know how he just defied the actual laws of the game, I guess. He just had so long Uber. They could kill everything on tracks, then walk on top, then kill everything there, and they still had Uber. Like, what was that? He was kind of slow on the initial build-up. Not his fault, because he didn't have a lot of people actually on the high ground. Only like Uber fully buffed players, so you do build a bit slower. They're kind of a bit forced into the low ground right now, though, onto the Vaccinator, still on this tracks area.
It's what Grabba is most known for, the Vaccinator play. He's the only player that I know that can actually use this medigun to his advantage, and he may come in clutch. The card is being pushed, however, by Nuthouse. It's gonna get cleaned up. McNando as well, Uno jumping in as well. It's just a complete mayhem going on. The card is so dangerously close. Sting is trying to get a headshot on the blue players on the card. So much carnage going on. What? So many kills. Choper's also up there. Skyper's the last player, but no, he's gonna get cleaned up by Jessica's Sentry. Level 3 Sentry still up in there and still protecting the point. Grabba's low on health, but managed to survive this. Will get himself a small Uber advantage now. The red players need to stabilize. Breathe, guys. Breathe.
In this Nations Cup, 90% of the frags of the teams do happen in that kind of area. I feel like everybody's just defending it by actual just saving graces. Essentially, they are trying to rotate you through under with actual Vaccinator, and the bullet resistance does work out. They do win the fight onto Riper. They're kind of dying, but they got the complete combo down except Goss, so they can very safely regroup here onto this high ground and completely recuperate. They do have Vaccinator though, which I would say usually is a disadvantage, but then again, I'm not Grabba nor Polish.
The Traxxas boys, well, they stabilize themselves. The cart is very close to falling down the cliff here, but it's still not close enough here. Kafka getting a little bit of a scuffle there with the flank. And it seems like Kafka is gonna take down Nuthouse, but he Dragons comes and claims him just without much of a problem here. Gau's gonna have his Uber charge faster than Grabba, but you have to still remember, Grabba's still running their Vaccinator. He can't get those, well, the resistances, and there is a push coming up top here. Barthis is using that explosive resistance, but there's a lot of bullets coming his way, and that definitely doesn't hold against bullets. They managed to, well, survive there with Grabba, but they lose Turcher, they lose Barthis. And there's a lot of players here. Thaswin behind, trying to take down Goss. He does get him with the last meat shot. And that's gonna, well, help them a little bit more. But Corsis again, very close. And he goes down, even though there were some red players up. Finland finally pushes it in. Just under 13 minutes, Domaytoe. And, well, I have to say, we've seen better times coming out of Finland.
That's a rough time. I can play like 2 King of the Maps in that time, or maybe try to push 1 Badwater third, you know. That is just to put it into actual contrast here. Interesting Uber exchange there onto the last point. They won that offense. They had in their Uber, on the offensive team there onto the Finnish people, they had a soldier, a heavy, then the medic, and then a pyro. So they had every actual like sources of damage in the Uber. So they completely broke the Vaccinator down, because you cannot have 3 resistances. 2 is the max. But they lost some players in that Uber because the medic can't flash 3 players at once. But in the end, that actually still favored them, because people claimed high ground together, which was more of an important issue at that point. And therefore they won that fight onto high ground and brute forced them out and not immediately commit to the point. So they could actually commit to the point after they got the frags and brute force them out. And this time, who was that? Nuthouse just focusing the card very well and actually surviving that one and gets the cap. But yeah, once again, like almost 13 minutes is not a happy time.
Not a happy time indeed, and they're about to have even worse time. Let's see how Poland takes this jump on. The first respawns coming in. Turcho is moving on the flank. Here comes Stan with the jump. That's not a ball jump here. He does so much damage to the back line, but he's gonna get finished off as well. Turcho going in with those flamethrowers. He's looking for a force, and he does get it. That distraction coming out of Stan has been crucial, and the Uber has been used.
Yeah, just Pyro walks around the corner. This is very fun as a medic to stay in this position. Yeah, we had the dispenser there, but it was still not enough. Pyro just point blank. Slight distraction though onto, well, not a genuine bow strat, but essentially a bow strat anyway, because he got put into the bowl because he was just instantly dead, but he actually bought like 2 seconds, you know. Rear just, well, aggression in, so they got distracted for a few bit there and the Pyro was allowed to walk in. So once again, they have this Uber advantage onto the offensive play stance. Let's see how the Polish team will actually transition into that.
Yeah, they're a bit slow on the draw here. The card has not been pushed far enough, and they allow Gauss to build up a nice Uber yet again. Grabba is already out with the Uber charge. They're popping early, trying to save Stan, and they're coming in full force. There's nothing to defend themselves. For Gauss and his team, they're gonna have to sacrifice this first point, but they do manage to snag that sentry back. Bloodis is doing his admin work, and he's adminning the sentry all the way back to the second point. Gauss is gonna get his 100% as well, so he's gonna slow them down on that second point. The Poles have finally capped the first, but there is just a mountain to climb, figuratively and literally, when it comes to the second point defense coming out of Finns.
It's very hard to do that without the healthiest mountain climber, because the heavy just died there to a sticky trap, and that actually allowed Scarpa to have a bit more free reign. Right now they come forward here. Grubber doesn't even have Uber. They have Uber on the defensive play stance, but they're very brave to not pop there and actually do get brute forced out though. Dragons does die for that kind of making pressure onto actually doing space onto the front flank. And Bartis dies once again though, so that just helps getting this aggression off.
What was that? Yunu, how did you find that rocket? Grubba goes down there in the background, slowing that offense even more. Level 3 sentry, 100% onto Gauze, and that soldier is granting Finns the much needed time on the clock, but the Poles are not letting this one go. Oh no, I know how they work, and I know they're really angry right now, and Grubba is about to spit fire as he's just respawned 20% on the lane. They're gonna be looking for something else. All of this game.
Okay, I thought this was me, but apparently once again I'm not a robot, even though I was lagging before, but Jake is just lagging out because, well, maybe there is a big just relation to that one, because the Polish team does get picked, so whenever it's going a bit bad for the Polish team, I guess like Jake is also getting DDoS. Interesting, well, emphasis there onto a notion once again. We have to see though, they got brute forced out. They still have 40% disadvantage on the on the offensive play stance. When they keep their ground though, and they're actually taking gambles and keeping their bay, then it's allowing the defensive team to get some players in, especially the flank, and get some picks forward, some advantages forward, which we saw from Nuthouse there on the first point as well. Right now they're still bleeding onto these players, and let's see if after Goss does get forced, which is a good play for the Polish team, maybe Jack is not lagging anymore. He's apparently rejoining. Okay, interesting. They still do have the force. Maybe it's going better for Poland until Jake is in. Anyway, the flank is down there, and Skyper as well. Just no spam actual splash damage classes onto the defensive play stance. Mignando dying there as well. They're still brute forcing their way in. They could be a bit more aggressive because they're still in this kind of transitional area onto the low ground, and they're still getting sniped down there by Stingen, who has the complete sideline onto lockdown, as there comes the Uber in.
Oh yeah, and Sab is going down by Trooper as well. That's a good play there. They're gonna be able to push the second point. Maybe the Uber was a little bit unnecessary, but maybe it was just a safety precaution coming out of the Poles, making sure that there's no Finnish players lurking on behind. Kafka's getting quite aggressive. He's gonna pay the ultimate price for it. Claims the kill for that, and now Poles have a disadvantage, but they have a long way to go on those tracks. There's plenty of time to waste, to spare, and basically Thazo has a very, very exciting job in front of him.
Yeah, 8.5 minutes there, though the map timer actually does represent the same that the actual time that they have. Juno there tries to get a bit of forward pressure and tries to actually hold high ground. Denies a bit the demo man from jumping in, dies there though on the jump out. Ollie does get a snipe onto Tertiary, actually inhibits some forward pressure, which doesn't really matter in that kind of sense because they're still getting the card forward, so you can be a bit more fast, loose and easy with your players walking forward onto the offense. And there's still some catching up to do on the Uber, as Grubber just hits his Uber right now.
And you have to carry on for a little while, Domaytoe, as I am going back into the game.
Okay, well, maybe this push will work once again for the Polish team. We'll have to see, though. Just delay your, I guess, you're joining in, so...
The gods don't want me watch this game. I understand this is a high-profile game, but I'm getting back, and nobody's gonna stop me from casting this game because I'm just excited as everybody else is. And, well, continue me, man. I'm gonna listen to you. Enjoy it.
Oh, really? Okay, because they lost 3 players, and I thought, okay, he jumped the server. Right now, though, Jessica is getting killed there as well. They're getting actual bled out there, but probably not what they want here, because Tertiary also dies. There is nothing actually happening for them, and there's still this huge jump from Juno. Does scare out Thedel there. Very brave of Juno, actually. There comes Step, though, onto Trooper. Completely uncountered there, and the Pyro also being a bit too passive there. Dragons to actually deny that and protect his demo man. And right now, they're still kind of lurking onto this third point. A bit passive now, though. Actually gives up a lot of card time, and it's gonna be a pretty good Uber exchange if they just take it. And now Ripe goes down as well.
Yeah, Trooper gets the kill there with the Saharan Spy. Good kill. Yunu's jumping on the car, but not before it clears the second leg of the uphill battle. Thazo finishing him off. Now low on health, but they're going to be able to push this one in. I reckon Uber's coming out in the background as well, just to delay them here. Counter Uber by Goss, but the sentry has been cleared, and the Poles haven't lost that much. I mean, they've lost Stan and Stingen, but those are expendable assets as long as Graba survives, and they're pushing back in. They're doing repush right now. No team has Ubercharge right about now. Grubba's in a bad spot, however. There's Ripe up top. Watch out, man. Ripe is looking for some more kills. They managed to clean up Barth's Trooper as well, and the card is almost there.
Yeah, exactly. They got it onto the second hill, which is what they wanted. They can lose players there. Doesn't matter so much. Velzu does get stabbed though, while Chupa unsheathing apparently his knife there, and actually does get a frag. Grubber gets pressured here a lot from Ignando, and we have to see there is a complete open point right now for the blue team to push into the third. There's only Wrangled Gunslap gets sapped finally, and they're still almost equal Ubers, and you have to also look that the Finnish team isn't even on top yet.
Oh yeah, now finally 5.5 minutes to go for the Polish team to push this one and push this one home. They have a nice Uber equalization with Gauze. Gauze is up top. Actually, Barthis is up top. Uber's coming out below, trying to force it out. Turcho is trying to push the medic out, but he's going to push him to safety. Now, Raipe needs to be cleaned out. The Pyro gets the job right now. And, well, Graba, while surviving, Gauze as well. The card is dangerously close right now. Barthis is still up top, and he's cleared out the place for his friends. Now they've joined him. His full-on attention here. Killed by Nuthouse onto stand, but I don't think that's going to slow them down.
No, and the only actual saving grace there could be the sentry, but that just went down as Tertius jumped the jetpack or something, or with the detonator jump, even more skilled onto the balcony. Does get Ollie down. Tertius does die in the end, but there's still so much forward pressure. Vettel is getting cap time here, and they're getting pressured. Chupa is onto the balcony as well, does get a stab onto Riper after Siapa got killed by Stan, and they're completely going onto this cap point here. Jessica 1v1 against Blades, kills the scout before that as well. There's Miglano, he's getting some steps, he's killing him, but it isn't enough in the end.
Oh, Poland gets the first point of the game. Finland was just unable to get this one done. And, well, while they pushed the second and third in the first round very, very quickly, well, the second and the third, the complete opposite, it was just Poland with 5 minutes to spare, pushing it all the way to the last point, getting it done, capping the point. And, well, they are putting themselves on the board, leading 1 point here on Peel Upward, Domaytoe. And, well, what are your feelings, what are your thoughts as the unbiased half of this casting duo?
I mean, I can still be biased towards one team, even though I'm not rostered on it, but we'll have to see. What I find interesting is, I mean, it was a lot of time to spare, actually. Like, there was like 5 minutes to spare. But if you just consider that 13 minutes is not usually what you have to play with, because there are a lot of hiccups that need to happen, that you have like 13 minutes to defend. If you just like account from 12:50 down with 5 minutes, which I will try right now, is almost 8 minutes, you know, like 7:50, which is okay time to push this. So if they didn't have like this ridiculously like long defensive stance that they needed to hold, it would have definitely worked better. Like, imagine just if they pushed that in 7 minutes and 50, like without being on the like offense first, you know, would have definitely been way better for them, because like that's way more of a motivation actually.
Yeah.
What I found interesting though from Polish team, I feel like their 40 is definitely like actually holding forward with their combo, and the flank does follow up very nicely on that one.
Yeah, but now both teams will get to kind of figure out what the bad parts, what the good parts of their playstyle was. Poland has basically finished off the first point with 5 minutes to spare, and now Finland will be defending first, Poland attacking. They will be setting up the time, and we shall see which time gets better. You have to remember that Peel Upward has been Finland's pick, so they've chose this map consciously, and they'll be looking kind of recuperate on this, because going into this game, the second map of tonight will be Galiwash, which is Polish pick, which is kind of a map that Poland is quite strong on, and even against legends such as Lithuania, which have succeeded against USA, you know, they've won 6-0 in that game. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Finland on defense yet again here. Poland attacking. Nations Cup Season 6 Domaytoe. Your predictions for this round?
My prediction for this round is that the defense will probably have a way better time right now to actually hold this, which I mentioned before. Like, Finland don't have to hold for 13 minutes right now. It puts them in such a better mindset. Like, if you just get pushed in like 7:50, okay, that's completely fine. You can make it work then from the offense. So I think that's a better predisposition for them right now. They still need to get their grip onto the game a bit more, which means they have to sniff out that combo that walks forward and just takes ground. They're not even that aggressive onto Poland. They're not pushing actively into them. They're just holding the ground and actually holding that space, so the flank from the Polish team can just push into that space essentially. So they might actually like just keep them there, you know, just say, okay, they are there, but they're not doing anything, so we just kill the flank first of all. So maybe they have to realize once again what their advantages are and try to maybe emphasize them a bit more as the gates do open up right now.
Oh, Stan with the sticky bomb launcher, Turcho on that jetpack as well. He's jumping in, but he's messing this one up. Ripe is gonna finish him off. Kafka jumping as well. He gets stopped dead in its tracks by Nunhouse. Finished off by Bloodis. So that entire jump has been completely stopped here by the Finnish team. Only looking for Sting's head. He's not going to be able to find it. Ripe is still strong, holding on that balcony, and they're doing so much damage to the blue team, they cannot really push this card forward. They'll have to regroup, maybe think about this strategy. Graba still sitting in spawn. Thaz trying to open up some flank room, but he should probably focus on the card, which he does right now, before they actually push this one in.
Yeah, there comes once again this jump from Stan. Completely wrecked by rockets. Maybe you need to have a sap there. Chupa is still on the hill. He's been standing on that hill. He got pressured a bit by Nuthouse before, but he stayed alive. But he's just still there. He's trying to go for a pick. There we go. Skyper actually does go down. They lose like 4 players, and that also includes like 8-second respawn. So Skyper has maybe even time to get into position. They will probably push up that though.
Oh yeah, Thazu there, actually not in the flank, he mostly prefers, he's trying to take Yunu down, he's gonna pay the ultimate price as well here. Ollie takes him down easy with a body shot, that's a 4th on his sniper rifle. Grabba's out already, Uber's coming out, Grabba doesn't want to risk this. Stan is coming in with those quickie bombs, get completely stopped by Dragons, who's using everything in his tank to stop the Demo Man. He's gonna be able to finish this one up, but what's going on right now?
He's still in, Bottis is still pushing from behind, he's still in! He gets so much pressure, they're completely getting cramped up here from top, and there is still Kafka in, getting so much pressure onto Goss, and they almost wipe from that. Wow, Bottis was behind. He walks in, he kills an engineer, he kills a sentry gun, he kills a pyro or something. Mignando though gets the hype a bit down once again with the knife just into the back of Grabba.
No, that's all good. You know, I'm all for like balanced teams and balanced fun. Stan just styles on Yunu there, completely destroying him with a nice pill. But it seems that Poland is able to kind of stabilize themselves. They still have some ways to go to push this card to the second point. Kafka is there on the flank. He's going to be looking for the kill. He's going to clean up himself. Skyper also the credit for that. Barth is finding a cheeky spot, just shooting down the sentry. But hello, there's a heavy there. Shooting down between those rocks. Gets a nice health back from the arrow as well, and he's all good to go. Both medics at equal Ubers, and there's a lot of time for Bloodis to set up that sentry yet again, but red team is really hurting for some heals right now, Domaytoe.
Yeah, Grabba just went out there with like 10 HP. He was so weak. This is usually where you put that sweating frog emoji like into the chat. I have played with enough weeps to know that. They're still jumping forward here though, and this was kind of a semi-suicide wave almost, and they're still getting pressured though right now. I feel like that's not the correct play. Probably should just play a bit more together. They don't have Uber yet, so maybe they're trying to get cheeky, and Grabba actually does out. So the gamble does work in their favor. They're getting stalled a bit here though, Poland, onto the second hold.
Yeah, Finland was able to build up some nice defense going into the second point. Ripe is full health as well. Gauze is making sure everybody's nice stacked up on health, but they lose Skyper. Their trooper finds a kill in the background. Virtuo's there below as well, looking for Mignando. That's 2 down, 3 down for the side of red. Stinger is fully charging that shot on the bloody sentry. He needs to get that sentry down. He's waiting for a call. He's shooting it now. A lot of pressure being put on that sentry, on that defense. Gauze and Grabba both using their Uber charges to exchange some kills. Turge are gonna fall down, but so is Dragons, and Barth is gonna get headshot by Ollie, which means Grabba is pretty much all by himself right about now. He needs to fall back. The cart has been pushed just a few inches forward. Sentry has gone down as well, but the point still belongs to Finland.
Poor Fjoko's focus fire there for the Finnish team, and without the demo as well. Skyper got picked 3 times consecutively by the pick classes, and they still managed to brute force them out with the M4. That's quite insane actually. They are still having a bit on a disadvantage, like 10 to 15% could actually matter here, because they are getting very aggressive, the offensive team right now. Poland is just claiming the high ground. Grabba dies to Skyper, who is alive this time.
Oh, Skyper, just absolute dirty pill right there, and Yunu's gonna finish off Barthis. So Poland is losing steam. They're losing, the train is losing steam, but Thazlu is working tirelessly on that card. It's moving forward. Nobody from the red team has actually managed to see that. They're trying to shoot him down, but the card is so close. Even Bloodis went into the sentry. Guys, if nobody's gonna do it, I am gonna do it. But that's the NG, and he pays the price as well. Jessica shoots him down with a mini. Uber has been popped on the card to stop it from rolling in, as Grabba has just respawned. He started using the Uber charge. Seems that Finland will be able to stop this point, but I think it's high time for them to retreat to third.
Yeah, that was very awkward play there. They were just so passive, but they could have like been way more aggressive. Right now though, they're claiming this ground once again, and it's equal Ubers. Grabber must have used somewhere or actually got forced or something. He's so weak as well. He's just always so weak. He does survive though. The flank dies there a bit for the Finnish team. Stingen does die. As to watch though, there's still this soldier behind. Wow. Kyuko, no, I can't get it. Kafka dies from a reflect. He's down. Unfortunate. They still have a lot of players down though, so very short-lived second hold.
Oh, Trooper's gonna get a sneak one in, and he does get it! And it looks like Finland has kind of unanimously decided to fall back to the third point. Blue team finally managing to push the second point in 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Not a stellar time by any stretch of the imagination so far. So Poland's kind of struggling this time. Finland is doing a nice defense coming into those first 2 points, and there are 2 more to go.
Yeah, both Ubers are up. It takes like 50 hours to push this card up, so though we have to see. Juno saves himself with the rocket jump. They're almost falling down. They do spot Chupa here. He's actually getting pressured off the low ground. They use really early in. Skyper does headshot. Gets headshot though.
What a headshot there by Sting, and Uber's coming out of the blue-red team here. They're trying to clean up the house, but no, they're only find Barthes, who has been lurking beneath the staircase. Grabba is all safe and sound, but he's building very slow, and I don't think that Uber charge, even though it was favorable for the Polish team, it's not really gonna matter at this point, and Poland will have to kind of come into this drive, but the cart is still tirelessly being pushed by designated cart pushers, Jessica and Tazu. Grabba is so aggressive. I'm not sure if Finland actually knows he's that aggressive. They're not deciding to go for it. McDonald's gonna be able to spot him. He's stealth and he's looking for the kill. Grabba, turn around, man. No, he jumps away. That's just in time. Stan is actually not gonna get stabbed either. McDonald in a lot of trouble, but he's gonna surf his way back to the health pack and survive. However, the rest of the team using that amazing distraction made by the combo classes, cleaning up the third point, moving and getting themselves a lot of room. McNanna's gonna finally kill somebody, and that is Barthes.
Full Uber advantage onto the Polish side. They once again won that just completely by claiming tracks. That was all there was there, and Skyper then was the only one, also a bit late, but walked forward completely alone, and then he gets headshot. Like, that is no genuine defensive strategy. They just, you know, they just walk in tracks. You have to do something on tracks. Chupa does die there to a kind of body shot. Juno also. So some defensive team power actually lacking there onto the Finnish team. They're still getting brute forced here. It's still a good time, you know, 7 minutes. But if they get pushed here very quick, Barthes walks in.
Barthes! What? No! Stingen gets the kill after Barthes gets stopped by Ollie, and that was amazing play by Barthes. That heavy has kind of confused his classes, and I think he's playing spy now. Tazu, only 3 players up for the red team here. Finland is just struggling. Here comes Juno in the background. He's gonna try to stop the card. This is kind of ways away from the point. Nice headshot onto Jessica, but no, Juno gets cleaned up. Vasquez on the card. He's pushing it tightly, and he goes down.
As much as I wanted to say they looked so well there, and they shouldn't get pushed into like 1 minute into the last point. They've done that, but it's still okay time, you know. It's like they pushed in 7 minutes 50 in the first, like got pushed there. Now it's 8 seconds like slower, so it's actually getting better for them on paper. On the defensive play sides, only Juno was up. He was in a really good position. He could have almost spammed that card, but then Stingen says, no, I have a bullet in my gun and you have a bullet in your head and you're dead. And then the pyro came in, you know, and they tried to get an air blast, but then Stingen said, hey, I have like 25 bullets, now I have 24, and like you're dead as well, you know. Like he just killed the players that were actually in positions to get the kills there. So you get the important players down that actually could do something about the card. That were like 3 players up, to be quite fair. So very strong performance just from them taking aggression forward, just off like Barthes' pick and just a lot of people fuddling in.
Ooh, Stan, that's a dirty trap you found there, my friend. Gonna use the Quickie Bomb Launcher still. The Quickie Bomb Launcher is a kind of an unlock we haven't seen used that often in Highlander. And it's kind of proving to be a quite interesting unlock. I mean, the whole Polish team is using different unlocks. I mean, Grabba with the Vaccinator, called the Grabinator, then, you know, the Quickie Bomb Launcher by Stan. It's kind of curious what they're trying to do, but it's definitely throwing Finns off their balance. 8 minutes to go as the gates are down for Finland to push this one in. Waiting for those jumps. Skyper's getting ready. He's so ready to jump in, waiting for Udo to get his started. Skyper jumping in, Bolsack coming in, but they're waiting for it. Poland is gonna get shot down, not quite fast enough. I think that Trooper's the only clear. Oh, but here comes Juno in the background. He's trying to find Grabba, but Grabba, well, nerves of steel, holds on to his Uber charge. Sentry, however, has gone down. McNanna's looking for the medic as well. He's gonna get burned down. That was dangerously close, but Finland is not really stopping the cart from moving. There's still Blood is there working on it.
Good suicide wave, almost. They got the sentry gun down and they took so long to actually get the players out of that. Grabber! What the hell is that?
Nobody sees the Sniper Inquisition as he comes in. Now Sting is looking for the medic, but he gets Skyper though. That's a good starter. He's looking for more, but he gets stopped by Barthis there. He's Yunus behind. He's gonna get a kill as well. Sting is popping off. So he's looking for more, but Blood is now, and while Gauss has that 100% Uber charge, the sentry is still up. It all is in the hands of the rest of the team how they decide to do this. Trooper is looking for the kill. They managed to finish off Ollie, and Gauss is still holding quite far back, but they're waiting for Gauss. Skyper is now in with the Uber charge. They're pushing while the Scout Nuthouse is pushing as well, but they're getting pushed away, and the sentry is still up.
Yeah, Ollie, like, Uber advantage for them, just engineered that one. Was probably a miraculous angle there, but right now they're pushing into this. Skyper gets completely forward, Jugget killed by the Pyro, and then, well, Ghost just watches. Can actually people come in, but nobody can come in, so they just get cleaned up. Get cleaned up a second time right now, and it's actually allowing Grabber to have a slight bit of an Uber advantage and a bit of crumbling once again. They must have felt a bit lackluster down there because they could have definitely done this.
Oh, Trooper actually taking down Skyper yet again. That's a massive damage disadvantage at this point. Ripa is gonna try to make up for it. He's getting quite aggressive. Nobody sees him. Nope, Kafka is there. They split the heavy. He's about to go down, I think. Yep, he does. With Barth, there's a lot of players on the red team with massive kill streaks going on, and Stingen is leading this one. Barthis is not far behind. They're stopping Finns yet again on the first point. Grabba has 100%. God's about to get his Uber charge. The Carter is moving in closer and closer to the first point, but Poles are just putting their feet down. They're digging themselves into the gravel of Upward, and they're not letting the Finns through.
Right now they get frags though. 4 frags down. Come on, now you can right now push this. There's the Barthis hiding top right. They have to watch out for him. And McDonald is onto him. He does call him though. Scapper does go down. There comes Barthis dropping to the low ground. There's the sentry gun up, does go down right now. Only 4 players or 5 players actually with the respawns up for the defensive play. Stingen is still onto the top hill. They can claim this high ground right now though. Juno does jump forward, jump the sniper. And they're still pressuring in. So once again you have to push the first point. And there comes the conch jump though, as I have. Okay. Kafka is into the air. Anyway, you have to break the first point down like really fast, but you also want to give a lot of pressure because you need to roll this, you need momentum.
Yeah, exactly, and momentum is what Finland has right now. They're pushing the cart with 3 timers on it. That's the fastest it can go. The Uber is on their side as well. Grabba doesn't have his, and he also is hurting for 4 players. Jessica needs to build up some kind of a defense. Their Barthis is there to push the players out, but it seems that Poles have given the call to move their buildings away from the second point. McNando's trying to pester the heavy weapons guy, but he's not gonna go down with those fists of steel. Oh, he punches him down! That is disrespect. He sucks him in the mouth. He's even taunting as well.
Is that a Polish saying? That sounded very weird. Anyway, they're pushing forward here. They do lose the Riper, who is a bit confused there as where Soldier jumped behind them. And right now they're actually getting brute forced out once again. This early push doesn't really work because the card is not up and they didn't even have their combo players forward all that much. Riper did get distracted there a bit, so that also just weakened them onto this exchange right now. Like, imagine if they pushed this like 2 minutes earlier. There's a pause.
Yeah.
Anyway, if they pushed this 2 minutes earlier, they have like 5 or like 6 minutes at that point, and they had so much momentum right now. The momentum is getting stalled by almost a misplay, I would say, pushing forward. But yeah, just once again the tactical pause there coming out, Jake.
The tactical pause or technical pause, we're not quite sure. There's 90 seconds in the future. We'll probably get some information from Wiethoofd soon. But that Uber push, like you said before, Domaytoe, was kind of questionable because, like you said, cart was quite far back. It was nowhere near the 3 ramps that it needs to scale to get to the 3rd. If you did get like 2 or maybe even 1 ramp off of this Uber, maybe that would have been worth. But as a result, all it does is just forces Grabba out and just kind of goes in forward. Jessica is alive. He's building up his sentry defenses yet again. Poles have pretty much all the players in their places, and Grabba is alive and healthy, so it doesn't look very promising here. It's a very funny situation because if Wiethoofd has that camera onto Trooper and McNando, who are just now staring at each other, even though they can't really see each other either. So, and there's a rocket right in between them as well, so it can go really sideways. I don't know who's gonna win this one, but this is a staring battle if I've ever seen one, Domaytoe.
Yeah, they are both on full health as well, and McDonald's even buffed. That's not a very genuine play. They're bumping into each other though. Trooper just realized this now. McNando, like both actually do get out. We have to see though, they're still pressuring this, and this downtime can work out for the offensive team if they're playing it brave and actually do help a lot here onto this card. Stan is the only one to deny card, and he goes down. Kafka is still on top. He's getting pressured a bit though, and Juno is trying to assume high ground position. There's this Koch coming in. They're trying to control this here, but they're actually getting the card onto the first slope.
Oh yeah, the first slope kind of hard, but it's also in the open. It's also like right behind the wall, so it can be defended, but goes, scales up the wall here. Both medics, well, almost equal Ubers here. Gauze has a much better heal ratio than Grabba so far. Grabba's kind of healing up. Players who already are healed. He's 20% behind. The sentry's getting pestered by some rockets. Gonna go down there by Yunu. And now is the blue team pushing into the third point. Grabba, they're gonna use the counter pop much later. Stan looking for blood right now with Turcho in tow. The cart is not up the third slope. Turcho's just pushing people off, but it's gonna get sniped by Ollie. A lot of just pushing and pulling by both teams. Seems that Kafka's gonna find trouble on the flank in the shit house as well. And there's no defenses going by Jessica on the third. I think he's decided to move all the way to last. There's 2.5 minutes to go. And what you really need is to set up on the last. Ooh, McNano is in there. He's gonna sap that dispenser by Jessica, but that's about all he's done. And he's been kind of really having a rough time. He's doing some work, but I mean, Poles are just deathly scared of that Finnish spy.
It was so bizarre, just once again. When they just didn't walk into an open space, but the other team just, well, created an open space that was not necessary, maybe. They're still losing some players though. Turcho down and Barthas as well. That's just once again a lot of, well, pressure lacking there onto the top area, and actually does maybe allow them even to push into them with like 20% advantage. I don't think they're going to be aware of this though, and they're also losing some players, so no instant and actual decisive push coming in.
Oh yeah, Stingen is a good spot. Jessica as well. They're having full control over the tracks. Nice body shot there, and they headshot onto Nick Nando on the cart. Gonna slow down the Finns a little bit more. Grab 100%, so is Gauze. Now, the Finns are hurting for some players right now. It's 7v9. At the moment, Stingen is fully healthed up and scoped in. He's looking for a lucky shot, but majority of the blue players are currently on the staircase. They're getting ready to push this one in, but they lose Soldier as well. They need to decide whether they want to keep throwing players in or just use that Uber charge. So they decide with the ladder. Skyper is reading the charge. Barthas is in there. He's going to be able to finish off too before Gauze pops his Uber charge, Domaytoe.
Yeah, this front stairs push did not work out. Like, when they tried to do something, they lost like 2 players, and then like they went back stairs, and well, that is just 2 players or 3 players down, and you push into them in a defensive, well, play stance, so there's only one thing that's gonna happen there. They're actually getting wiped off there almost, because Goss also dies. There's 25% now actual advantage onto Grabba. Skyper also dying there, trying to get something. Like, they need to dry push this right now, so that's actually a great pick, even though he's only on a 3-second respawn wave, but every little second they get right now is into the advantage onto the Polish team. So Finnish team should have maybe tried some other strategies, but you can't think about that anymore. You have to pressure in right now.
Right, is being pressured by Yunu there. Nobody spotted him right now. He's gonna go for behind. He's gonna go for, well, this engineer. He gets him down, but Sentry is still up, however, and they've lost a lot of players in that exchange as well. Gauze is building his Uber charge, gonna wait for some more respawns. It's a long respawn queue for the side of the red. Basically, Barthas is down for the count for the near future. Skyper is going in, looking for some pills there onto the Sentry. The Sentry, however, is still up. He's finally gonna go down. You're right, but quite aggressive, fighting back. That's gonna finish off the job, and he's gonna run away with his health. Gauze is far behind. He's not healing anybody. If a lot of red players around 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and they get the first map!
Say something in Polish, quick.
Jake, Polska gola. Polska gola.
Fantastic. Zurmi per gele or something. I don't know. I don't. That's probably not swearing. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Anyway, so they do take the first map. They're actually 2-0. Well, if I don't know what it means in Finnish, that's not actually like I'm lacking the will there to, well, say something offensive. Anyway, Jake, it's, well, the first map actually claiming there for the Polish team. It's kind of going downhill there for the Finns, and that last point also definitely not working out in their favor. They just stood in chokes a bit timidly. They were not brave enough once again to push in, and they could have definitely done this. We've seen this before, but well, it is that result in the end. So we'll actually have some time, and with, you know how it is, I mean you, because you have a bit more time, as I have to quickly disappear because well, it's locks, you know. It's just logs.
So you're just disappearing because of logs. All right, I'll fill in those shoes. So we're gonna take a look at the logs. Poland taking this one 3-1 on the second map. Combined logs in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, and well, 46 kills. Unsung hero of the Polish defense and offense as well, with 46 kills. 10 of them were on Skyper, the demo man. So he's been kind of keeping tabs on everything, and blocking down Skyper has been the priority of the Polish team. Seems that it has worked out in their favor as well. Barth is second, close second, only 1 kill less, and then 44 on to Stingman, the Sting hand. Nuthouse was the only one kind of in the top 5 or 6 players from Finnish team that was actually up there in the kill list. And when you look at the deaths, however, McNando with a staggering 44 deaths and only 24 kills. His counterpart from the Polish team, Trooper, has 35 kills to 40 deaths. So he's done considerably better than the Finnish spy. The famous Finnish spy, New School, seems to be kind of winning this battle, but from the inside information, I know that, well, McNando has been a major scare for the Polish team. They really wanted to make sure he's shut down, and they've done just that. In terms of medics here, Graba actually dying only 6 times, 11 onto Gauze, and a lot more Ubers and different variations of it. Actually, 1 KritzKast as well coming under Graba, but Gauze has a much, much better heal ratio. He's been doing a lot of work just healing up the team, but in the end, it didn't quite work. And it's now, we're moving into the second map of tonight, the pick of Poland, the CP Gollywash, 5 CP, long map, a lot of tug of war, and I'm just, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about what can happen on this map, really. I mean, Finland could just easily take it. If there are some classes that are unchecked Domaytoe and are not make sure that they're dead, like Yunu, Nuthouse, Scapper, or McNando, well, Poland is gonna have a lot of problems just kind of keeping them at bay. When at the same time, Finland has to worry about Stingen, they have to worry about Trooper, they have to worry about Barth of all players. And honestly, now that I just think of it, Barth is with that last kind of killing 2 players before Gauze pops his Uber thing. I mean, if Barth ever releases his own personal bathwater, I'm gonna buy the entire stock.
Amazing. I feel like this is a new meme I'm not aware of. Anyway, so we are getting into a sixes map. Hello, it's a sixes map. And you say how much the Finnish team actually do have a chance right here. I can tell you what, well, they have sixes players and they have a lot of sixes oriented people actually that you have to worry about. So I feel like on paper that definitely actually does look better for them, even though that is Poland's pick. And on the other side, like vice versa, the Finnish team only have to worry, and I'm putting this into inverted commas, but still I have to worry about a heavy and like pick classes. You always have to worry about pick classes, and pick classes don't even matter that much here on Gollywash because a sniper doesn't get high kill streaks. You just have to be aware of like the sidelines because he shuts down a lot of space, and the spy has a lot of like actual ground to cover. So not actually, as I was saying, on paper working into their advantage, but once again, Jake, as a caster and a like analysis, you can only point out the actual objective meanings and, well, you know, how objectively seen it would work out. But once again, these teams are aware of their subjective strengths and weaknesses, and also the matchup, the very individual one, does matter quite a bit. So it can work once again a bit more a bit differently than it might objectively look.
Yeah, and as we're slowly getting into this game, well, Domaytoe, I know I just talked a lot, but who do you think will win this one? I mean, this is Polish pick. They've been quite strong on this map as well, but this is 5 CP. I'm not sure what Finland has in their bag to kind of counter what Poles have to say. So I'm going to say on a limb, and it's not going to be a full 5-0 wash, but it's definitely going to go towards Poland. They feel confident on this map. They're wearing their matching tracksuits. I mean, I think they're more than ready to take on Finland.
But they don't have sixes players. Not so much anyway, and we'll have to see. If they take the lead here onto the Finnish team to finish them off there, the sixes players, and actually walk forward. But yeah, once again, it's a bit less so about the combo rotations. It's a bit more just communicating without actually seeing your people, so you have to use your eyes instead of your ears instead of your eyes. I just rumbled that one up, but you get the issue at hand here. Well, we're still waiting here and we'll have to see. I mean, Poland picked this map once again because they were probably feeling comfortable on it, or what you said before, maybe they were actually suggesting or expecting that the Finnish team did not scrim that map so much.
That may be true, but ladies and gentlemen, we're getting back into the action. Highlander Nations Cup semifinals, Finland versus Poland. First map went towards Poland, so this is the last map that Finland can actually redeem themselves, as both teams have been released from the respective places of spawn. And it's gonna look at who gets to middle faster. It seems that both demos are about equal. Skyper quite well sticking up the side spawn, but Trooper has called out already, so the rest of Polish team is moving around their banana. Nuthouse on the point as well, trying to take on Tazu. Oh, a lot of each other's exchange, but Nuthouse gonna win this one. A lot of kills going down the way of Finland, and they are winning this exchange.
Exactly similar rollouts, and right now they're actually brute forcing their way onto the point because no sniper into play, so now the DM that actually walks forward, and Six's players do shine, maybe actually taking over the comms a bit there, and they're going to cap the point quite fast. They're probably going to rotate through Victor. I really like this play because they actually do shove them out here, and when you take the Uber advantage, they still have some time and actual positions to cross through, and Stan also does go down. They lose the entire combo. He only has a tertiary here to heal onto the front flank rubber right now, and they're still getting brute forced out. Really good call there to just rotate through Victor.
Oh, Skyper actually low on health, but he's still lurking around. He's looking for some people to shoot, but the second point is going down the way of Finland. He's gonna find Trooper stealthed in as well. That's a second on his pill launcher, and he's gonna move into the spawn with the rest of the team. Both medics about roughly equal Ubers, and Reds are still waiting for the respawn wave to kick in. So it's gonna really take a hero play for either team to move this kind of stalemate going. McNano there in the background trying to get a kill onto somebody, but he's not gonna be able. Skyper finds Turcha though with a nice sticky trap, and now Stan moving through the river. He's getting a few pills onto the blue players, but he's not gonna be able to finish up anyone with that.
Tercio will be down for this push if they pinpoint push this. Alternatively, they could also work their spam classes in there, but they did not decide to do any of this, so both Ubers are probably going to be up at the equal time. Well, not at the equal time, but once they push, as they are kind of still lurking about and actually not going to recuperate and actually push off that Tercio pick there. So once again, we have a little stalemate here. We have to watch where they want to push. They actually do get Ollie right now into a position, the Finnish team, from River, and try to protect him. Also, Both is there by the distraction going down there, and Ollie also gets a pick.
Well, McNana's already ready to kind of get the point going. He's hiding in the secret right now. He's waiting for a kill. Both medics at 100%, but Gauze uses his supercharge in the background here. Graba counters him with his. They're trying to stop the point from getting capped here. Raipe, McNando, and Nuthouse all in the lower lobby here. Finally, Raipe getting finished off just as McNando. A lot of players down for the side of Finland. Seems that Poland will be able to stabilize themselves and protect this point a little longer, and seems that Barthes is on last point duty.
Finnish team isn't in. Like, what was that? They pushed with 3 players forward even though they had 3 picks, and Skyper got delayed there by Kafka in the lobby. They pushed with like 3 players even though they had 3 picks forward, so in the end it actually didn't matter. Victor right now is occupied by the Finnish team, still going to delay them onto this point. And Tertiary does get a lot of damage here, actually could enable them a bit, but the potential is not coming in. The flank is still on top. They are not going to get the crucial damage in though, and they're actually going to get picked off, so they will push right now with 4 picks in their favor, and hopefully all the Finnish players are walking in on this push.
Graba, what are you doing? He's just running in the open, and all he gets the kill. A lot of kills getting done on the side of Poland. Barthes is just kind of last anchor of the team, holding the point, but there's nobody on it right now. Uber's coming down, and Kafka jumping on the point, cratering on it, and the point goes towards Finland. Well done, my Finnish friends.
Well-oiled midpoint converts into we just push in. Hopefully, maybe like one screwed up last push doesn't matter so much. Well, it matters a bit, but they just take Victor then, and then just slay the players that are still trying to commit to the second cap, and then just get pushed backwards. So really just genuine play onto Galiwash, just puts them into an early lead here of Finland, and once again equal positional actual takings onto the midpoints. Then does go down though, and Ollie gets retaliation fragged by Stingham.
That's 3 down, 4 down. Gauze actually getting chopped there, and chopped is Skyper as well. A little bit of a, exchange kill onto Barthes, but what matters is that middle point now belongs to the red team. Poles are moving in with most of their forces intact and a fully charged Ubercharge. Here, Raipe is still in the background fighting Jessica. He's gonna get the kill. He's still in the background, but he's gonna be chased down by Tazu. I don't think that heavy weapons guy gets out of there alive. It seems that second point will go towards Poland as well. They're just using the advantage they managed to create for themselves from the first point here, from the middle point, moving on to the second, and last point is their final destination.
Yeah, and let's see where the destination for that crit sticky will be, because they're actually on crits right now. The Spy does see it. He does shank Grubber into the face. Then Micnando goes down though. They're trying to use this crits from River. We have to see, because the Pyro is up, can probably deny this as they are slowly walking in here. They're actually going to crits onto nothing, apparently, and then Tertiary also dies. They're kind of not working anything off there. Bartis also dies there. There's this Soldier onto the last point, gets a lot of cap time. Does die though, and Goss also gets flanked there. The crits not working at all, but there's the rest of the players coming in. It's such a scrappy fight.
Yeah, it was a scrappy fight. Created off of the back of that crit streak. I mean, it's a nice idea to use Quickie Bomb launch with the crits. He's guaranteed at least a kill onto the medic if you get the sticky, but it just went flying somewhere where nobody was standing, and the point has not been finished off, which means the second point will be reclaimed by the Finnish team here. Graba thankfully survives for the Polish team. They're holding in their garage door, and just as it's being capped, it may just be retaken very quickly after.
They're actually going to still contest this, even though they have kept the second point away from them. And Bartis, I mean, as much as you laud him sometimes, that was definitely a, well, misplay there from him still staying in. Dies there, which means he can't deny actual choke and anything, so they can just fast lose an easy walk in. The Polish team does know that though, as they are playing it a bit passive right now, though. Stan is trying to assume forward position. I'm not so sure if that will work. We'll see though, as once you have the Pyro into the choke, you can also deny an awful lot. Nuthouse, they're getting chopped essentially onto the side flank, and they're still getting a bit pressured here, and there's a Pyro in a choke, so nothing is gonna happen for the Finnish team.
Yeah, Finland are kind of digging their heels in. Skyper is quite aggressive, but Tertiary is leading the charge. Here comes the counterpart by Gauze. A lot of people just running around and flashing and looking really nice, but it's not a lot of kills going either way. Tertiary almost dying there. Barth is looking for something, but no, he's not only going to find absolutely anything, but he's back. He's looking for Skyper now, but Gauze is healing him up, and there is Ollie on top of the point as well, just making sure nobody can go through. And it's a split push going on by the red team. They're managing to find Ollie there with a nice fight. Skyper's low on health, and so is Gauze. Trooper is walking in, trying to shag the demo. He gets a final shot. He's looking for Gauze as well, but he's gonna go down. But they created enough of a distraction for Poles to push off of, and Gauze finally succumbing to injuries will give Graba a nice 100% advantage, and the second point is a gift.
What a sandwiching play that was just from Victor. Juno almost saved it a bit because he pressured the engineer out and destroyed the mini sentry, so they didn't have any pressure anymore from Victor's side, but then again they just instantly walked in, had way better damage actual forward from choke, so only one flank being into play still mattered then in the end. That means though there's a full 100% Uber advantage onto Graba, and they're trying to work something in from water.
Oh, Graba is in this bad situation. Raipe almost getting him a punch in the face, but Uber's coming out onto the point from below. Stan is leading the charge. Dragons is in there, but a nice stab onto the heavy. Micnando finishes off the job. A lot of players around the point. Stan is just whipping up his, well, objector, and that's a full, clean wipe. Like I always say, Domaytoe, Blackboard at school could hide from a wipe of this size, as they finally managed to equalize themselves onto Gollywash, and we're already 9 minutes in.
Well, that scratched, and that was actually a bit painful to watch, like, well, you know how it is, fingernails on a chalkboard essentially, because the Spy comes in from top right, and they were already locked out of the last point, so those 3 picks looked good in the camera, but actually didn't matter so much, as they probably had this like last point onto lockdown. That helps though, as Ghost is the first one to just go down from Stan.
Ooh, those squeaky bombs are working out, but Graba's low on health, Micnando's background as well, and Yunu's gonna finish off the job. He's looking for some more. Stan's gonna finish the soldier off, but he's low on health himself. Yeah, Skyper is in there, gonna get a 1v1 fight with the demo man, but he's gonna go down, but Stingin is there, and Stingin is not gonna say no to a free headshot like this. Pops his melon, and now the middle point is gonna go down the way of Poland, as they lost their players faster. They're gonna get the respawns faster as well, and that's what they used, kept the middle, and moving on to the second.
Stingan is still forward, and Dicestam Victor. He was trying to get a bit cheeky and actually lock off the shutter area, which means they would have been denied from walking into the second point Finnish team, but they are actually rotating through river, so that position didn't matter in the end, and they have the complete river control. And both Ubers are almost equal. They have 20% disadvantage there onto the Finnish team, but they're holding on to high ground. So that means they have a good, well, defensive play style right there set up. The only real well, play I see from the Polish team that could work is maybe them pushing through Victor and actually going to trap them out because they just dropped to the low ground here. But they're actually not going to work off that Uber advantage that is not in play anymore.
Get to the trooper, says Chopper, and he's getting Gauss in the back, which means it's a disaster for the Finnish team. Barth is below, he's gonna go down, but Graba has 100%. They're gonna use it to clean off every single last player on the map. There's a long respawn timer. The second boy has not been capped. Nothouse is on Graba right now. He gets 1 meat shot, 2 meat shots, 3 meat. He finally gets the medic down, and he's looking for one more here. Stan is waiting to get killed, and he finally does. Ollie just disrespect close range headshot onto Stingen, and even though it looked amazing on paper, and they got the kills they needed, the second point has not been secured, and they've wasted that opportunity.
I mean, that was a medic with a soldier and a scout. Like, I don't want to linger onto this play stance again, but you know, 6 players just in, and well, it is Nuthouse and Juno who just do an awful lot of work, so they're just going to reap them off the side there. And then Stinghen also getting the fadeaway headshot there onto the enemy sniper. So it actually does render them having an Uber advantage here, 40% for the Finnish team as they try to brute force their way into the Polish team. Last dice step onto the flank shouldn't matter that much if they just pinpoint push onto this. Graba should be aware of this Uber disadvantage though. Yeah, he's rotating back to the lobby.
Oh yeah, it's a safe play here. Goss is getting ready, and he's healing up the team to get ready to not push that choke point. So difficult to push in, but if you have that advantage, it's gonna work. Kafka's behind, he's gonna find McNando, who's surfing away, but no, how did he find him? He was invisible at that point, he gets the kill! Tersh actually getting sniped by Gauss in the choke as well, and it seems that Poles are giving this one for free until at least Graba gets his Uber charge. They're moving around, they're in safe spot up top in the balcony, which gives them a high advantage, and they're gonna use it now to clean off the players. Gauss getting his Uber charge, a lot of players getting flashed, but it seems that Poland will have to fall back off of the back of this Uber.
Ripe is going to juggle the Graba into the air. They're just going to stay stagnant into the air, but actually still has the healing beam just about the distance it needs to connect to his own pyro. So that Uber was still almost successful. It well managed to be successful in that sense that it helped them to back out there. I was a bit critically looking at the Finnish team because they were choking a bit too much in this choke point, actually walking forward. I feel like rotating through Victor would have probably been a better play, but it is that play right now, and it is actually that position once again. Both Ubers are kind of equal, and they are still trying to lurk some advantages forward.
I'm just waiting for Trooper and McNando to do something crazy. They always do, and that's what both teams really need in this situation. Poland on their back wall right now, they need to make sure that they don't fall over their own feet. Kafka down for the count, so that's 1 down for the side of red. Grabas also has a disadvantage on the Ubers, but it's not significant enough unless Finland pushes in now, which now they're moving into the river. Uber has not been. Ollie gets domed here by Ollie. But Raipe is getting destroyed by Barthis, who's pretty much on a mission right now in the river, cleaning up the stragglers. So they're trying to equalize the situation. Finland taking their time. You know, they don't want to risk this. They have a full Uber, so does Graba. They just were looking for that one particular crucial pick.
Yeah, well, and Stan just gives them that because he wants to pressure them. Oh!
Juno!
These splash damage class. He just walks in main. Hello, I'm a soldier, I'm literally in your face. Bam, you drop. Essentially though, that still pressures them out a bit. It is an Uber advantage push right now from River. Stan dies once again because he just spawned in that. After that area, actually, that play went down, and there's still the Pyro onto the last point. There's Tertiary getting some flame damage, and there's still Nuthouse in. He has to pull a lot here. He's still going to pressure them, and Tertiary chases Goss there into the river area, and they're going to chase them out. Goss is still alive, and he... Where is he? He's down. Man, Medic's dying. Why?
Yeah, man, why do medics die? Why can't we just give them permanent Uber charge and let them run around? And here Goss down for the count. Maybe the opening that the Poles are looking for, but Graba is not really healing anybody. They just now started. Troopers getting pestered. A lot of players really don't want them around them. And Trooper's finally gonna go down. Raipe, the spy checker, he is gonna find the kill and feed his teammates a sandwich. What a nice, wholesome guy.
So, Stan just pressured like River before, and he almost like, he wants to get pressure, he wants to get force, but then he gets killed. But then again, everybody looks at River and looks, they will push from here, but we have this advantage. But then that allows Juno to just walk in from main and just kill him like that.
He finds that cold steel into the heart of Graba, which means it's gonna slow that defense even more. Gauze, 50% Ubercharge on his own. They can even dry push this if they want, but I think that the smart choice is just kind of wait. The Polish players are just not letting this one for free. McNano getting fined out by Kafka in the background again. Here, Raipe on the Vanguard. Well, gonna shoot down those Squeaky Bomb stickies coming out of Stan. Stan has been kind of dying. The first kill of every single last defense from Poland has been beginning with Stan kill. But well, that's a Vaccinator coming out behind onto Turchu. Turchu now he can get away with the help of Conch. He does, but Uber has come out. Now they're trying to use something with it, but they're gonna lose Skyper there. Goss is gonna go down as well. Nuthouse is down for the count. Dragons is fighting Jessica, but he's gonna go down. And now Graba with that Vaccinator, he saves the point and he switches the medigun. I mean, this is how you see a world-class medic.
Definitely. I mean, Vaccinator, they're keeping them at bay, and Stinghand also getting pressured there by the repush, so they're actually going to hold on to this probably. Still strong play though by Graba, and actually does allow him to have like 15% advantage, which all things considered shouldn't matter too much here. Right now they're still going to get some pressure forward onto the second point. There's a heavy on top and someone else, a scout that is. They're still staying into this Victor side. Ollie is so weak as well, and they're not actually getting any pressure forward. Ollie is still in there. He's going to get piled via Sniper's tunnel visioning. Sometimes we do have every prejudice in this game, you know? Like medics dying, it's, well, a sting into the hearts of every medic, and then like Sniper's tunnel visioning.
I'm just wondering if Twitch can handle the amount of clips that are coming out of this game, because everybody's showing what they can do. Barth is surfing onto the health pad, and he gets 2 kills off of it! How is that even possible? Graba's half health, but he is 100%. They're chasing down the blue players out of this middle point. Graba's healing everybody he can, and they can maybe push off of this. What amazing play by the Polish heavy, and they're getting the middle point off the back. Now they're moving into the second, both medics with 100%, but they decided to go and rotate around. Smart choice there, because it's very difficult to push that point if both medics have the Ubercharge. They're moving into the lobby already. They're looking for a back play there. Maybe try to put a dent in the back line. Here comes Kafka. A lot of damage being done. He cleans up 2, and he's looking for a third while the unit finishes him off. Barthis, however, is forcing out the Ubercharge, and before that, killing the heavy.
Yeah, exactly, and Riper also gets killed there, and then they get completely separated out. Not only there is so much flashing on here in this lobby area, and everything dies, it's only Ollie up. That's an easy 8k for a sniper who will probably get backbanned if he actually does manage to get 8 frags in a row. And he does get pressured a lot here onto top right, actually going to die, and there's instant cap onto this point. Nuthouse not being able to do anything, and that's a 2-1 for the Polish team. They just got completely wrapped about once again from this Victor side, because Jake, what you said, not only do they walk in way more like easily, but they also completely flank them from behind, because then the Finnish team needs to get out there, but there are players there, so you can't actually get out anymore.
Yeah, Stan, actually very quick rollout. So quite a lot of health. He's putting damage on the blue team already. Gauze is going fly high. Finds himself a nice little window to jump into. But he's low health. He's gonna eat himself a sandwich. Heal up the team, and he's safe to go. Kafka on the flank getting pestered by Raipe. Both teams still at full strength, aside from Kafka, who's just getting finished off, and just as Ollie, which means Sting has a lot of room to work with right now. Skyber's just lobbing pills above the point. He's gonna find basically nothing, but Stan getting finished off, and so is Unit. Just a lot of kills being exchanged. However, both medics are still alive, still healthy. Jessica 1v1, Texan battles. But it seems that Finland will be able to take control of the point, just brute forcing their way in. Skyper, oh, he's low on health, but he's gonna survive this one. Gauze is, well, working on healing him as long as Skyper stops moving.
And they did that, just aggressive play stunts into a sniper sideline. Like Stinghand was up for that entire area, which means that it was a very brave and actually committed play from the Finnish team. So they definitely need to know, and well, are aware that they need to do something a bit more here, because they are still 1 point down. Stinghand is still up though, and he gets a snipe there onto the heavy who just spawns right now, Riper. And Ollie right now does get a stab onto Barthis. So the snipers eventually not getting any cheeky like flank routes, but you have to walk through a choke point at some point. Or maybe you want to rotate through Victor. But right now there's this very favored stalemate.
Oh, but Stan getting sniped out by Ollie. That's a good opener. Turcha also going down. Graba has 100%, but he has nobody to use it on, and Gauze does. So they're moving in, but Stinghand gets a headshot onto Gauze, and he's looking for more. He's gonna get equalized, but Graba has 100%. He has to use this 50 health on that Polish medic, chasing the enemies down with the scout. Tazu is looking for a kill, but they will be able to maybe just survive this. And Graba's low on health, and he doesn't have his friends with him. Good opener by the sniper main, but is it gonna save them from losing the second point? 10 minutes left on the clock, Dom.
Just about actually saves them, and Thezo just gets complete pressure there forward, and Root forces them out once again. They actually do have the spawns in time, which helps the Polish team to once again recuperate, but Stan dying there as well, and Tertiary walking in, gets wrangled down there, and Skyper also dying. The flanks are actually killing the combo, and both combos are right now down, and they're still trying to brute force their way through. Blood is also dying, and Ghost is still staying forward. And both teams have like so equal well, numbers up, or actually not, as the soldier jumps in, does get the rockets in, but dies in the end, so Kafka not getting anything done.
Yeah, but Gauze is well, he got one thing, which is he scared Gauze. I mean, he's just
living very dangerously.
And it was a dangerous situation for the medic, but Gauze survives, he's fine. But Graba has a nice, cozy 30% advantage. Yuna on the flank in the garage, he's trying to get the flank down, but a lot of players just deciding to kind of park the bus. I mean, I know the Polish team, I talk with them all the time on Discord, and I know that they are not the team to just simply park the bus. They're just waiting for a good opportunity to get. Ollie getting chopped there in the back. Skyper is just kind of holding out defensively. They don't have the Uber charge, but they're about to get it. It seems that has been called from the Polish team to move in from garage. They're letting this one go. There's not a lot of players to actually convey this information, but McNando is now moving his way through the second point. Most of the red team is now in garage. A lot of players low on health. Graba still holding out Uber charge, and Finland is responding to this. Getting the stand in the back. Oof.
They almost like lose their demo almost constantly. And also the fact that you call this garage, even though it's called Victor, completely denies my joke of like calling this CP Victor. Anyway, they are pressuring this in still and getting some frags here, and Sting and Dice bought this Dice. They have some picks here, and they actually can play this play stance, because like the Polish team need to get out here, like support Ollie. He has a very good side lane. They are still trapping them in. They should rotate to Victor. Like right now, you see, like they need to, like they want to get out, but they can't right now, and they're actually getting once again pushed.
Oh, Ripe getting quite aggressive. Graba only has a scout to work with him. He's getting the Uber. And it seems that Gauze has counterpopped this one, but they have a player advantage and positioning advantage to get the second point done. It seems that Poland is back to their last point yet again. And Finland, with full force and full, well, lineup, are moving into the lobby area. Skyper is leading the charge yet again, sticking up everything. There's a nice, cheeky, sticky trap done by Stan, but it's been cleared out as well. No kills, and a little bit of a slowdown of this non-stop action. I mean, that's kind of what I needed right now, Dom.
They have to watch if they want to actually do something dry pushingly wise, or once again if they're just going to hold into river, and if they lose too many players you just back out into CP big door basically, and then you're safe there. But right now you have to see snipers do stare each other down. Ollie does get spammed there a bit. Stingen is fully buffed. Ollie does not have the buff forward, so he actually has the buff right now, though, as Ghost rotates a bit more forward to him. We have to see both snipers still to watch each other. Ripet tries to get something there, gets some space in, dies there, but it actually allows Ollie to get the space needed to get the snipe down to Stingen. So they have 3 picks, but they're probably not going to push off this because it can make it indecisive.
Oof. Skyper didn't get killed. Oh, Barthis! You dirty man! Ollie's just gonna not shoot him, he's gonna shoot his friend Engineer. Is surfing away on that pill. And here both medics at 100%. No Engineer on that last hold. Finland is getting ready to push in from river right now. Finding Stan in the face with a pill, but Stan survives this one. Ollie getting sniped as well, and Trooper finding a random pill. Now Stan is Stan is a man with a plan, is what I always say, and he has a plan certainly. I don't know what that plan is yet, but Barthis definitely knows, and he goes into the river, showing himself and distracting the blue team. Now, well, Finland's are thinking, well, so many players in the river, how about we rotate? Yuna is running the cow mangler out of all things. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but maybe if the fully charged one gets a player or two, it'll be all worth it. But right now, oh no, that's such a dirty spot, but he gets hurt out. Ripe is playing with his headphones on.
Yeah, well, to be quite fair, they stood just there for 20 seconds and then didn't even spam the only spot he was standing in. But then again, decloaking is the detriment to your actual, well, holding there, because players do have headphones. Especially Finnish players, because they are sometimes a bit more quiet, you know, they can hear that. Vladislav gets piped there, and actually losing some players shouldn't matter that much, as that just means and translates to we rotate a bit passively. Tertiary tries to get something here, actually going to force them a bit. Once again though, Grubber also did use, so both Ubers out of the equation.
Barth is just on last man defense duty. You know, the kind of last boss in Skyrim, last boss in Dark Souls. McNando's decloaking in the river, in the water right now. He's low on health, but he's waiting for those, well, ammo packs and health packs to come on. And he's gonna make his way back, so not much has been done. Only kind of stressed out. He's been stabbed by troopers far too many times to trust his own team now. A lot of damage being exchanged in the balcony area as well. For some time now, Poland has been kind of not giving up on that last point defense. They also have a 10% advantage, so they'll be able to work with this unless something crazy happens. Kafka, they're finding Ollie with a rocket, and McNando, however, finds an equalizer onto Stan. Gonna grab himself some health as well. And it's a bit of a stalemate still. I mean, Poland's still leading with his 5 minutes to go. Skyper actually dying to Kafka, which means that, well, they're losing, but it's kind of equalized at this point.
Well, yeah, it's just stagnating out. I mean, there are actual picks coming in to, like, but it's so equal, like 2 picks on one team, 3 picks on the other team. Trooper is still in, tries to get something onto spawn, McNano, sorry, doesn't get anything. But it's actually going to favor the Polish team because it just takes the Finnish team so long. There is no momentum in this game right now. It's just stagnated so much and they need more hype. They need to walk forward. They need to make every opportunity they get count.
Oh, that direct hit by Wiethoofd. Take him down, Kafka. And you said Finland needs a little bit more hype, and I'm more than willing to share my share because I have a lot of it. But right now, Finland kind of, yeah, stalemating this one. The bus has been parked by Poland, 100% on to the Polish team as well. Ripe is making his way towards the river below, and McNando towards the medic's back. He's decloaking, nobody has seen him. He's looking, he gets the stop, and he gets the drop. This is the opener they were looking for. Gauss is popping his uber charge immediately, and they're charging in, but there's a lot of leftover red players up on the battlefield, protecting the point with their life. Barthes is low on health, he's alive. Skyper walking on the point, 3 up for the side of blue, and there is a spy there as well. Nothouse gonna get healed. Gauss is alive as well. That's only 2 players. There were 2 players are on a mission. They're in secret. Grabba is using the vaccinator to stop it from happening. Gauss is low health, and he gets, well, shot by Grabba, and that is a disrespect coming out of the medic main, shooting down the other one. Well,
arrow down. Looks good on the locks. They can once again just try to hold this maybe from Victor here. The problem was, like, drop once again really good, but then again they just kite that really well, the Polish team, because there's no pressure into water onto Barthes. He just stands there. He's just heavy. He just stands there like, what's gonna happen? He's just going to shoot everyone down, and they're not going to push out because they don't need to push out, and it's always a risk of pushing out. So once again they're just going to slow this time down though. Grabba is still down. They do have a 30% advantage. Once again, they need to be proactive here though. They actually do need to do things. Stan goes down. It might even be dry push potential, but Goss dies.
Stingen, what are you doing there, Goss? You know Stingen is up, and when Stingen is up, he's gonna do what he does best, and, well, there's still Vax there onto Grabba, and it's working out for them. There's a level 2 sentry, and there's so much damage being exchanged, but the sentry's still up, finally going down there to Turcho. Skyper is low on health, but he catches a fall away pill onto the Pyro main. Barth is on AK streak right now. He's been on that guard duty the entire time. Vaccinator is still in play, and Grabba has not decided to switch off of it yet. It's fairly nicely charged, so he may be able to stop Gauss from going in. But this is what happened the last round as well. Grabba used the Vaccinator to push into the blue team while they didn't have the Uber charge, because Vac, you can use that weapon whenever you want. You have 4 charges on it. Yunu is getting quite aggressive, trying to take down Stan, but he's missing 2 rockets onto him. But he's managed to make his way down below, but there's Barth is there, and he doesn't want to fight him. Oh, and Stan goes down in tandem. McNando is credit to that.
That position we are in right now is the position we were in for the last 20 minutes. Nothing is happening. Like, I always want to apologize to Twitch chat that I try to hype up like this stagnant play, but you know, like, I want to get the hype through the internets, through the vibes to the Finnish team, because there was so much dry push potential there. They're not pushing in. They're never pushing in. Why are they not pushing in? There's nothing that's gonna happen, you know? Like, there's 1.5 minutes. You only have 1 push right now. You're putting too much eggs into one basket for my likings. They do have a full Uber advantage, but Grabba is known to make these vaccinator charges count.
Yeah, Vac is charged up, Uber is up as well. 1 minute left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. The defense has been use their vaccinator. Still has 4 charges left, but there's no more Uber charge to work with. Nothouse is doing some major work, but there's a lot of blue players down for the side of Finland and trying to equalize. Nothouse is just going absolutely nutty right in there. He's just shooting players. He's still alive as well. And, well, Trooper is gonna go try and kill Gauze, but Graba is still alive using all his leftover vaccinated charges, using yet another one, but the bus has been parked. Domaytoe, 40 seconds.
That's a tough call. The bus is so much parked, it almost has a ticket at that point, because it just stays there for so long. It should have no right to do that in any sort of way, because the Finnish team, they need to pressure this right now. There's only about 20 seconds left. They lose some players, they get stand though, that's a huge thing. Trooper's missing the steps, but he's trying to get it. The combo is dying though, they're down to this last point. They're getting the 3 cap time, but it's not going to work out as the Polish team just recuperates. Actually going to, no, that's true, onto the last point, he's going to shotgun, no!
Is this gonna happen? Are we gonna see Poland in finals? The time is up, ladies and gentlemen, we won!
Poland is the second finalist, just wow! This is Twitch chat, while Jake is probably a bit out of commission. This is why you practice medic MGE for a grabber with the sub while I'm being on 20 HP. They're winning against Juno being the only one forward and would have definitely kept this, but there you have it.
Water! We've won, ladies and gentlemen! Poland is in the finals!
Oh my, Poland against Russia, that will be a very interesting final for everyone to watch. I don't even know, like, Jake, you have the insights. Was Poland in the final ever before?
No! Never! That's the first
Russia
time!
neither!
This is gonna be a match of the ages, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest communities there are in terms of Team Fortress, the hermetic communities, but very, very big. We're gonna have an absolute festivity going into the finals as Poland takes over Finland 2-0. First on, taking on upward 2-0. Then Gollywash 2-1. After this last point defense, they managed to win this one. Finland is getting knocked out. Poland is advancing into the finals, and I could not be happier than this.
I mean, definitely a new, star onto the horizon of the Nations Cup, and actually one team will get their first championship title.